fuck's sake. New link. Piece of shit. Anyhow. I had to... Why didn't it go live by itself? That sucks. Why didn't you go live by yourself? Okay. If that's how it's going to be. Hi guys, how are you? Should be live. Sorry for the automatic, you know, what's it called? What is it called? People, yeah, I hope you're getting it. Yeah, exactly. You tell that computer. I thought it was just going to go, you know, directly into, what's it called, you know, streaming. I have to check that one out. Again, it was for the first time me using that kind of thing, so. Do you have music, by the way? I would like to know. And sorry for that inconvenience with, sorry for that whole thing, by the way. Let me know if you have music, by the way. Good. Again, exciting day, right? Again, it's just one of those moments where you kind of have to... Well, you don't have to, but you just want to watch and see what happens here. Given the whole event this Friday. So we just do this for fun here. Again, let me know if you have music. I tried to set it up, but I couldn't find the volume kind of button, so I did it manually. Otherwise, I'll shut it down. I don't know. So let's get started here. Thank you for tuning in, and again, I'm sorry for this whole live stream link. Initially, it didn't, you know, go live when I told it to. It's probably my fault as usual. So yeah, I just wanted to stream during this again. It's interesting to see what's happening after that whole Friday thing. Again, two things comes to mind. We could actually come down really hard, backtest that 44.5, and then rally, or we gap up. I think it will be a gap either way. So. I hope people are coming into the other How have your weekend been? All good? DNR. Okay, we have like, again, it's 5-minute delayed here from my side when I get to, you know, midnight before I see the chart. So it's midnight plus 5 minutes, 0.05. So we're just gonna have a look-see. Morning, not, in 4 minutes it's morning, technically. Or is it? I think it is. It's midnight here, so. Let's quickly check that one before we go into silver, which is our main focus today. Of course it is. It's a tiny bugger, this one here. Tricky. tricky little bastard. Yeah, it's a one-liner basically. Very small stock. Once we clear 42 cents or so, maybe 50 cents, 42, 43, 44 cents. I think the trend line is broken. Maybe wait for 45 or so, but you get the idea. I wouldn't, again, tiny stock, very messy. So if you want to wait a little bit longer, maybe wait for that high to be taken out at 0.5. Anything between 40, 44 and 50 seems like a reasonable little addition. Don't go overboard, as you know. This Friday was insane. Just completely into the US Open, just completely smoked everything. As you know, we had the glitch and all that good jazz. So that's why I basically wanted to do this live stream at the the Monday Open, just to see what happens. It doesn't change our view in any way at all. It's just fun to see and watch, and because to me this is a lot more interesting than watching sport. The only sport that I watch is basically Formula One, which by the way is pretty darn exciting after today's race. So yeah, I'm just watching this just to see interesting moments in time, which this is an understatement. Given what happened Friday, 45-year cup and handle breakout for silver, breakdown in the gold to silver ratio. Ship it. Ship it. You can see here the again, this is a 5-minute chart, so it doesn't matter at all. But it break out from this channel sideways, so we didn't see a big drop initially. But again, the 5 minutes, 1 minute is a lot more unprecise compared to like a weekly time frame, right? So again, just ask questions, guys. This is mainly silver and gold. Emphasize silver. So just a quick stream before the week is starting. Momentum breakout also happened Friday, short time frames. You can see here. So again, I think we're gonna gap. It just depends on which direction. And remember, it's totally, again, by the books to backtest like 44.5, 44.4, 54.5, my bad. Oh, the VRN? Yeah, true. That is true. That is true. And now I have a 5-minute delay, but sometimes you can see the ratios and other things moving a little bit before that. So let's see, we have 5 minutes until we get the first info. And now I pressed something and it doesn't work, yeah. AU gapped up. Gold? Again, mine is delayed here a little bit, so I guess you can find it different places. It's delayed 5 minutes for some reason. Remember, it's just fun and giggles to see here. Globex Live, okay. Yeah, copper copper looks really, really good. We can do that just before we look at copper here. Oich. We had a decent sideways breaking out There is some resistance above here, but it looks really, really good. It looks really good. Silver, okay, 1%. So nothing major, right? If you say 86.75. Okay. Again, remember what happens here, it doesn't matter at all. It's just for the interest. The Dixie is platinum is coming in now. That's good. Very nice action for the platinum. Palladium gapping up as well, which is also good, of course. Platinum is a good, a good thing to look at when you see some weird stuff happening in silver and gold. You check platinum and see if it follows. If it does, then it's often the real deal. If not, it's just, Crimex doing funky stuff. Well, yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah, just gonna be live for like 15 minutes into the open, and then we will go to bed and don't think too much about it. Either way, remember, either way, we had the big one happening this Friday, which was again 78. I've been saying that number so often now that it feels like I'm just repeating myself. But big moment there, which was pretty cool. Now we just need follow through, which is the most likely outcome, right? And go to sleep. That's true. I remember back in when I first started to do this stuff here 5 years ago in 2020, August, I sat up every day looking at the open because silver was just ramping to the upside into the big 30s, or the big 30 level. Let's see. We have 1 minute, right? We have 1 minute until we get to. Yeah, hopefully the servers won't overheat. But again, I've heard they've bought an Amiga, to as a backup now. They have the old Amiga, so it's an upgrade. Again, you have a system that is controlling trillions worth of dollars, not every day, but on a grand scale. And then it breaks down on a day where you had the lowest volume, basically, or very low volume due to Thanksgiving. So, I mean, it doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, and why didn't it happen on a day where silver collapsed? Like a few weeks ago, we had a major collapse, I mean, yeah, it was something happened there. Wow, thank you, Louis. Gee, 50, almost 50. That's again. Thank you very much. That's of course a nice thing of you to do. That's cool. So thank you very much. Yeah, Louis with the big W. Yeah, for sure, man. That's really cool. So we're getting the first candles here. And we had a gap up of like 0.5%, so nothing major. So let's see here. Are we going to close the gap? We often do. Maybe today is a bit different, but you often see the gap close. Gold here is closing its gap. Platinum did almost close its gap, so we shall see. Maybe do the 1 minute just to get some detailed stuff in there. You can basically see here it opened at the lower side of this uptrend break, into resistance there. So yeah, thank you, Louis, again. I appreciate your donation. You didn't have to do that, but again, thank you very much. It's and yeah, I love to do the Substack. Really, it has most importantly, my personality has really grown a lot. The confidence, and a lot of things. Which is probably the best part, right? To really be trusting in your own views and analysis, and be able to speak to sometimes a big audience, right? I remember when I started to do the videos like 2 years ago, the first 10, 20 times I was just very nervous, and yeah, and now it just feels like it's just something that you do, and hopefully getting better every day, both to present the stuff that I want to show, but also to find the technicals, and to do the best we can. So yeah, it has been a journey for sure. Improving, that is important, to improve every day. Let's see here. We get again. It's just it's 1 minute chart, so this is just fun and giggles. We have a good time, and then we see what the score will be when we wake up tomorrow. So, but the thing is, now after we have been breaking that whole decade long gold and silver and the ratios and all that, expect a lot more volatility forward, either way, right? Volatility will expand heavily, but with a bullish, more bullish view to the upside. But the pullbacks, they are going to be heavy. No, silver futures, it opens 15 minutes after, so 15, right? So yeah, now you can see the gap here. Now we're coming further down, so a lot of selling. This is a 1 minute candle, so now you can see a lot of selling coming in. Interesting here. But gold is moving, yeah, not the futures one. Again, this here was Friday. Perfect. Basically a perfect compression, right? Basically perfect before we broke out. And then we didn't look back after that. So again, this fractal here, this is only like almost a day. Like 20 hours or 16 hours or so. But if you find these, that's a general rule. On like if this was a year, half a year, 2 years, these are long-term entries, and they are often the real deal. Very rarely do they fail if you get this kind of fractal. And again, we look at these often, and we do the big entries on like a yearly wedge, or 2-3 years, a half a year. Go and look on Opera, for instance. That was a goodie. Again, this is just a bit of a that's the one, right? That took us in back in the day. So again, these compressions, they are my go-to setup by far. And when they happen, I'm doing maximum size that I can do, or is allowed to do, basically. So yeah, the volatility is really cool. Look at this here. I think this is a lot of volume given. Yeah, typically we have no volume at the open. You can see here, this is Friday. What about Yeah, you can see here, typically we have zero volume. Basically, you know, compared to the rest of the day. We have zero volume when we open here. You can see it out there, you know, we're having zero. Like 100 contracts or whatever that is, 100. And now we're having 400. Basically on par with the New York Open, you know, session. That's when you start to see the volume kick into gear here, and we're having the same volume. So that is that's new. Yeah, the last 3 candles on Apple was big. I think they had some sort of, again, I don't do fundamentals, but they did have, it was something financially that happened, I think, that make that kind of breakout. So again, don't quote me on that. A lot of funky things is happening here. Again, you can see the expanding volatility here also on the Bollinger Band. And this type of stuff you rarely get when you just where you get this type of expansion is very rare. Typically you get expansion in one direction. You get a tiny scoop here on the lower side, and then it follows. Rarely do you get expansions both ways, meaning it's a big fight right now either way. People are fighting like a madman. So should we quickly check Apple the last 3 candles on Abra? Abracadabra. We did have a little flag there to take us in, right? That was kind of cool. I will say this though, I still have a funky target of 22, potentially 42. Man, if it gets to those numbers, that is by far one of my best ever. So let's see. Going from $2 to 22 or 42. You don't need to catch many of these to do well. By the way, Eloro has been tricky, right? I think I have the isn't that the oh yeah, okay. I will say this though, just quick history. I was just mega bullish here on Eloro. I was just waiting for this to break. That is, you know, a bull flag where you want to be really, really interested in taking that long. But it failed. It's failed big time. Came all the way down to the lower end of that uptrend. Poked through a few times, but it looks good. Yes, it does. Not a place where you can. It looks good, yeah. But again, to buy it here might be a different story. Will it go higher? Most likely, but to me it's just a bit difficult to grasp the risk reward here, to be honest. It's a bit tricky, but yeah. But yes, what a candle that was, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Have you maybe vibes? Maybe. One of the more difficult stocks to get correct here. But you can see we had the back test, bit of a rounding, and then we started to climb again. So it should meet resistance at around 2.5. Thereabout. That should be the first type of resistance. Then we shall see. I mean, the Bollinger Band on the monthly is quite good. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. It looks quite good. Yeah. Not my go-to setup, but it's sometimes it's also like a gut feeling, you know. There's one for sure. Okay. Again, this is short-term stuff, so it doesn't matter basically, but you can see this poke above this channel here. Yes, it was a gap, a gap, but that's fine. We came down, hit the other side of it, and typically what can happen is if you break out, it's a false breakout, you go to the other side, of whatever setup you had a false breakout from. And again, this could be the fact that we're gonna come down here. Not that steep, but you get the idea, where we break down to the lower side of it. So that is, one. That's probably the most likely outlook now. Again, just, I wouldn't say guessing, but it's the 1 minute chart after all. So SLVR, isn't that? Strange one, isn't it? Got back to the highs here after, again, we had a rising wedge breakout, which I note, but I will say rarely take, because again, it's not my go-to or my favorite one. One sec. But yeah, it looks decent here. A bit of a nasty candle there. However, it seems like it's consolidating at the all-time highs. And once we start to break, 0.9 or so, it resumes the uptrend basically. A bit messy here with this kind of gap up thing coming down again. You can see here we had like it still looks okay, to be honest. It's gonna break higher. It's gonna break higher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so we have again, we have like 8 minutes until this candle gets thrown out of the Bollinger Band calculation, because Bollinger Band is 20 candles look back. So once we get to 21, and that means we will, again, if we stay here tight, we get the contraction, and then we shall see. So yeah, Endeavor key looks really good. I haven't looking at it in quite a while, but last time I looked, it was just a banger of yeah, it's still looking amazing. Yeah, it's one of the best setups that there is, by the way. Again, here you have it. Remember that kind of 1 day wedge on the silver? This is a 20-year breaking out at like $6. It's gonna go to, I mean, we could do some fun. It's gonna go to 25 easily. That's a low ball guess. 25 is a low balling on this one here. Pit stop at all-time high, which we often see, and then higher. It looks absolutely fantastic. Whoa, okay. Volatility. Of course, if we, again, this breakdown here, it gets negated when we get back above the breakout high there. So again, this is just fun and giggles. Don't take this too seriously. But yes, Endeavor looks king. It looks amazing. It really does. It's such a beautiful stock. $32 people sitting here looking at futures opening, and that is amazing. It's amazing. Platinum here with a perfect, basically perfect gap fill, right? And now we're coming up here, and you can start to see the level that we need to take, right? You can start to see some big head, right shoulder. So once we start to trade north of, if we can do that here shortly, 1681 and change, we should be going higher. Should be. Palladium, gap fill, clearing the highs, really good. That's a good, again, look at platinum often to see, again, if you have a big breakdown in silver and gold, if platinum doesn't do a whole lot, it could be a sign that it's not that big of a deal. I'm just checking here on a different screen. Yeah. Platinum. We nailed the entry back in May, June, by the way, sitting on good things. To be honest, a bigger play, which is a very big play, it's VALT. One that I just recently started to follow. It's on the, I think it's on the LSE, so that is, what is that? That is England. Maybe you can get it on different exchanges, but we did clear a mini triangle here into some resistance, but it looks really good to me. Playing the entire uptrend here, basically. So again, I wouldn't be surprised. This is now 5.3, isn't it? Or 5,000, whatever that is, I don't know. Again, this could easily do 50%, quite easily. Once we start to clear this cluster here, getting into all-time highs, I think 7.5 is not totally insane. And that's just one of them. There are multiples. I think Ivanhoe Mines looks good. IVN looks good. IMPUY also looks good. Again, I can't give the levels because it's Substack kind of thing. But I think we've had the pullback. It's over. Oh, that's a beautiful little. I want to have that alert on for sure. Wow, that's good. That's really good. Amazing. The correction is over as far as I go, as I see it in platinum and palladium. PAGFF, what is that? Pacifica. Wednesday, you said. Yeah, cool. I like it. Again, tiny stock, not a whole. We don't have much data, but clearing these, whatever that is, I don't know. But clearing that, yeah, it's good. I like it. It's a great entry. Getting above that 1.12 or whatever. Yeah, we don't have much data, but that is the level to get in. Wednesday was the correct play. Absolutely. Great. I like that. I really do. That's good. I have no targets, by the way. You can't really do a whole lot from that, right? Maybe again. But, yeah. ARD, I've seen ARD. And then we're gonna go back to Agent. I think I've seen it before. As you can see here, we're somewhat stuck in a major downtrend still. But I think it's gonna break, to be honest, right? I think you can't, again, that's a bit of a fakie there, but so once we start to break north of, let's call it 50 cents, I think that entire downtrend is over, and you have been breaking on multiple horizontal important levels. Bit of a breakdown moment here, a lot of intern stuff here, and you can see there also 2 wicks there. We broke down and then game over, came back. So not 50 cents, 5 cents, my bad, 5 cents. If you want to get into this tiny stock here, is probably the place to look for. Yeah, I think so. 5 cents, my bad, 5 cents. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. That's really interesting. So let's see. Let's do 4 more minutes, right? And then we will go and get some sleep. Again, this wasn't anything decision making videos. It was just pure fun. So again, I will wake up in 5.5 hours, maybe a bit less, and I'm gonna look at the screen and see where we are. I want to show you something cool. I think it's cool. I think it's pretty darn cool. Again, I love to do momentum measures, and I have my own kind of what is it called, indicator, which I made with together with a friend of mine, my only real life friend, or that does technical analysis, and we kind of made this together, talking for like 2 hours. And yeah, this was the big moment there in June, right, where we broke momentum. And then this was fun. The backtest was basically the low of the entire silver market. That big drop we had into like 45 or something like that. And then it held. At least for now, it has held. So that is cool. And we also had the big macro, very big macro wedge that we like to do on price, but this is again momentum. So yeah, you can see here we basically came down for a back test of that, and we straight up. So we are printing green, and we have been printing basically green since March 2024, which was also my go signal for metals. And I have been accumulating buying breakouts in Abra, SUP, Santa Cruz, all these good guys, MKO, when they came up after that period. So yeah, Santa Cruz key was, I think it's one of my best calls ever, isn't it? I think it is, at least one of the grade A ones. And this is again momentum. So this is not price, but we're going to check the price here shortly. Again, not picture perfect, but you get the idea. Look at this. And I think we went long in March 2025. Let's check. Oh, a lot of funky stuff going on. Yep, March 2020. 2025. Pretty darn cool. That was a big one. I'll not go into too much detail, but we went long at 44. And target remains 7.5 or so. And we are having just a typical pit stop at triangle high. In this case, also all-time high. So yeah, amazing. It's gonna have again, to reach the target, we still do 3x from here, from the price today. Remember that. Oh. Will we get there? We don't know. But this is our head and shoulder, which are targeted there. Can it overperform? Absolutely. But the target remains 7.5, and whatever happens, if it does more to the upside, it's just icing on the cake, really. So we shall see if we get to those targets. Oh, volatility, man, look at that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's just all over the place. Oh, there were a decent level down here. So anywho, let's see where we will be. Again, this is not anything major. It was just pure fun. So yes, have an amazing day, and thank you. Thank you, Louis, for that, 50. Again, you didn't have to, but again, highly appreciate it. And let's see where we are. Again, this is a very interesting time, long term, in metals. And I think most people are not ready for what is about to come. No mainstream people is talking about this stuff here. And you're seeing silver miners and gold, of course, but silver more so, miners breaking out against not basically everything, stock markets, you name it. So that is, in my view, the correct place to be. It really is. It's the correct place to be. So I have nothing more, guys. Have a great day and all that. See ya. Bye.